Adams Archive.
Israel and Hamas have agreed to a temporary ceasefire for humanitarian purposes that include a hostage release deal, which has come from Fox News. Let's go ahead and read this article where it says the Israeli government is committed to the return of all hostages home. Tonight, the government approved the outline for the first stage of achieving this goal, according to which at least 50 hostages, women and children, will be released for 4 days, during which there will be a lull in the fighting. The release of every 10 additional hostages will result in an additional day of respite. The Israeli government, the IDF, and the security forces will continue the war in order to return all the hostages, to complete the elimination of Hamas, and to ensure that Gaza does not renew any threat to the state of Israel. The ceasefire was officially announced hours after Israeli and Hamas leaders said Tuesday that negotiations were in their final stages. Both sides ultimately agreed to their conditions. Qatari negotiators helped broker the agreement. Under the deal, Israel's government has agreed to temporarily stop its pursuit of Hamas, including its ground invasion of Gaza and its airstrikes for humanitarian purposes. Also, Hamas has agreed to release dozens of hostages in tandem with Israel agreeing to release Palestinian prisoners on a 3-to-1 ratio. Fox News' Trey Yingst reported Hamas leaders would release one hostage for every 3 Palestinians that Israel releases from its prisons. So that means that Israel essentially has to have 3 times the amount of hostages/prisoners. Hamas, which governs Gaza, took about 240 hostages from Israel during its terror attack on October 7th, when it invaded Israel and killed approximately 1,200 people, mostly civilians. The terror group said at the time that it took enough hostages, which included Israelis, Americans, and other foreign nationals, to free all Palestinians in Israel. Interesting. So you'll see the first hostages come out over the course of Thursday. Netanyahu met with his war council Tuesday afternoon, then the Security Council, and then his full cabinet before the agreement was announced. Ahead of the meetings, he said he hoped there would be good news. Earlier Tuesday, Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh and Mark Rujev, the senior advisor to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, openly said a deal was closed. The deal being, hey, we'll stop for 3 or 4 days and we'll exchange hostages. For every 1 that you give us, we'll give you 3. Okay. So not exactly what I was thinking. So this is not a long-term ceasefire. This is just a ceasefire for 3 or 4, potentially 5 days, where they release their hostages together. And then Israel will go back to leveling the city of Gaza, apparently. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Okay. Not exactly what I was thinking, but as you guys know, when things pop up and we have breaking news, you'll get it while we're here. So again, this was Israel and Hamas agreed to a temporary ceasefire, hostage release deal, including freeing 3 Americans. Now, the original headline of this made it seem like it was more of a long-standing agreement, which obviously it's not.
Adams Archive.